I see that you're watching this video today. My guess is one of the reasons you're watching this video is you're a little bit curious about what core values have to do with making your company sustainable. And I'm also assuming that because you're watching this video, one of your goals in life is to create a business that's a sustainable business. So let's start off and talk about what happens when you don't have clear values in your company. Let's pretend you've got 25 people working for you. And let's also pretend, or let's, believe that you've never really told people what the core values in your company are. Or you may have told them once or twice, but you don't tell them every day, and you don't have a system for reinforcing what your core values are in your company. Now, here's what happens. You have 25 people working in your company, and they each think and make up what they believe the values of your company are. Sometimes those values might be things that you want to have happen in your company, but an awful lot of times those values really aren't what you want to see happen in your company. So if you sit down and say, here are the 4 or 5 things in our company that we value, which are our core values, and we never want to break these values, what are you going to get? Well, one thing you're going to get is you're going to start getting all of your people being on the same page. Instead of them having their own values and having 50, 60, 70, 80 different values running around your company, you're going to have 4 or 5. And you get to use these values as a very important management tool. I don't want you just to make values up to make values up. We've got to do enough useless things in our businesses that we shouldn't be doing. This is not one of them. It is, in my opinion, the starting place for how you create a sustainable business. So let me give you an example of how I've used a core value in my company. My first business was a vending and food service company, and we used to make about 20,000 sandwiches a week, which is a fair amount of sandwiches. We had about 8 or 9 people working in our food commissary where we made all this food. One day I walked into the commissary, and I happened to walk around, and I ran into, I was looking at some of the food that was being made, and there was a person making sandwiches, and they might have been the worst looking sandwiches I had ever had in my life or seen in my life. So I went up to this person. I said, Tanya, what's the deal with these sandwiches? And she looks at me, and she's actually studying my feet. She's really not looking at me. She's studying my feet. And she says, well, the manager made me do it. And I looked over at the manager, and she was over there wrapping sandwiches. Tanya was in a different part of the commissary making sandwiches. So I said, Tanya, the manager's over there. You're over here. You're making sandwiches. She's wrapping sandwiches. What's the deal? Tanya's still studying my feet. So, well, you made me. I said, well, how did I make you? So, well, you always make sure that we go fast. And I'm going fast, and I can't do it right and go fast. And I said, really? Was I just in here telling you to go fast? And she said, no. Still studying my feet. So I said to Tanya, again, why did you make the sandwiches like that? What caused you to do that? And she studied my feet, and she realized at that point that I wasn't going to let her off the hook. So here's what she did. Slowly, her eyes went from studying my feet to slowly going up. She picked up her head. She leaned back. Her shoulders went back, and she looked me straight in the eye. She said, well, it was my fault, and I can fix it. I said, Tanya, that is absolutely great. Go ahead and do it. Now, here's what happened. This was the bonus part of this thing. Tanya, up to that point, was a marginal member of our team. I mean, I was thinking about times I would have talked to the commissary manager and say, should she even be here because she's not exhibiting our values? I mean, she would make lousy food when one of our values was, or one of our, what we used to call pillars was, if you're not going to eat it, don't sell it. And frankly, there was no way anybody was going to eat those sandwiches that she was making. So here's what happened. Tanya went from being a marginal employee to being one of our best employees. In fact, about a year after that, we made Tanya the manager of the commissary. So by using core values and using them as tools to help people understand how they can make your business better is something that's really important. And when everybody understands that things like personal responsibility or honesty or promptness or accuracy are values that everybody needs to exhibit in the company to stay there, your company wins. You get a chance to become sustainable. It's something that's good for you. So, you might be wondering, what's my next step? I don't even know how to go about creating core values. Well, you happen to be in luck, because here at Ask Josh Patrick, we help people do this on a regular basis. Now, I'm happy to have a free 30-minute conversation with you about this. All you have to do is click on the button below. You'll get a sign-up sheet that gives you a 30-minute appointment with me. You find a free slot in your calendar, a free slot in my calendar because it's hooked together. Just fill out the form, click it, and we'll spend 30 minutes talking about how values can be used in your company. And we have a process that can help you get there. So thanks a lot for watching this blog post. New thing for us here at Ask Josh Patrick, we're playing around with video blogs. Why don't you click on the response below and leave me a note on how you like it. I hope you did. And this is Josh Patrick. I'm the head curmudgeon here at Ask Josh Patrick, and thanks a lot for spending some time with us today.